What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and this is my camera review of the LG G4. So I've had this device for about a week now, and my full review will be coming up shortly, so hopefully over the weekend I'll have it completed. But one of the areas that has been most talked about of this device is the camera, and that's something that a lot of you have been asking me about as well. So in this video I'll be specifically covering my opinions about the camera, so let's get straight to it. So let me tell you straight away, this has one of the best cameras on any smartphone out there right now. You've got 16 megapixels with OIS 2.0, you've got laser autofocus, a color spectrum sensor, as well as an f1.8 aperture. So awesome specs here, and the results are brilliant. You've probably already seen a few results on my social media which I've been posting across the week, and also my camera comparisons with the S6 as well as the iPhone 6 Plus. It's a very consistent camera. You've got some nice accurate colors, some very sharp detail with some fast snappy focus, and the f1.8 aperture allows for more light, so low light shots are also great, and macro shots give you some nice shallow depth of field, so almost looks like they've been taken on DSLR. We'll be discussing a little bit more about that later on in the video. So very impressive camera, definitely one of the best out there. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have been asking me is it better than the S6? Now, I really don't like that term better, especially when it comes to cameras, because it does come down to your personal preference, and that's why I've done a side-by-side comparison with the S6 and the G4, and you can go ahead and check that out and see the results in lots of different scenarios and make your own decision. In my opinion, I think these two are about the same, because there's some images I liked better on the S6 and there's some images that I liked better on the G4. So it is gonna vary from person to person, and some of you may like one more than the other. Now, another thing a lot of people have been saying to me is, why haven't you been taking all your pictures in manual mode? This has got an awesome manual mode. Why haven't you been taking full advantage of it, and things along those lines? And I again think those comments are a little bit silly really, because this is a smartphone camera essentially, and 9 out of 10 people are not going to know how to use the manual mode. So a lot of what I want to show is what you can get straight off the camera without having to faff around, not having to do anything with some tweaks before taking a shot. This is for most people out there, and what most people will be getting from the cameras. This is one of the reasons why the iPhones are so popular, because you can just take them out, get a shot, and be confident that you're going to be getting some nice shots on auto. And the LG G4 gives you some really nice shots on auto, and I can tell you that from all of the examples that you've seen. Having said that, this does have an awesome manual mode, and I have also posted some examples of manual shots. So you've got some additional manual controls compared to some other smartphones out there. In particular, the shutter speed. This is something that you can't control on lots of the competition devices, and this is going to allow you to do some nice and interesting effects. You can keep the shutter open for a longer period of time, and you can do effects with lights and things. Absolutely awesome, and you have more control. So if you want to change things like the white balance, or if you want to get custom ISO, that's also there. My personal favorite thing is that you can also save to RAW format. So for those of you who don't know, most images on a phone are taken at JPEG, so they're compressed into JPEG format. But if you have them at RAW, then you've got so much more information there that you can tweak later on in post. So you can pull out the shadows and things like that. So if you are somebody who's looking to get more out of your smartphone camera, then this is going to be absolutely awesome. Now, a few points to mention of the manual mode. Firstly, you can only save to RAW in manual mode, so you're not going to be able to do that in the other mode. So you're going to have to get into manual mode to be able to save to RAW. The other thing is that the RAW files are quite large. Now, this is expected 19 megabytes you're looking at, so roughly about 19 megabytes at DNG format. So this is what you're going to be expecting. What I'd say is, if you are going to be shooting a lot of images in manual mode, then get a large memory card. So this does support micro SD cards, so I'd say get a 128 gig memory card, so then that way you've got a lot of storage on there for those 19 meg files. The other thing is, if you're going to be using a slower shutter speed, then you are going to have to mount this on some sort of a tripod or something. Now, this isn't anything bad about the device itself. This is just general rule of thumb. If you're going to be using a slower shutter speed and you've got it in your hand, you are going to be introducing some very slight bits of shake, and you're not going to be able to hold it completely still. So you might want to invest in something like a little tripod or something where you can mount this on in order to get those slow shutter speed shots. Now I've been able to get away with roughly about 4 seconds handheld, and it's still giving me quite a decent shot. So holding it with both hands and with your elbows close to your body, that's going to give you some stability, and it's also got optical image stabilization, which works quite well. So for images, that's going to be quite good, but I would definitely recommend getting something like a tripod of some sort to fully take advantage of that shutter speed. Now what don't I like about the G4? Now the sound, the audio quality is okay, so you can go ahead and check my camera comparison, but I think other devices do record audio better. I think it's just more richer on other devices such as the Samsung Galaxy S6. I think that could have been improved a little bit. And also the optical image stabilization is awesome in images, but what I found in video is when you're walking with the smartphone, it's just a little bit wobbly, a little bit too wobbly compared to some of the devices once again. So that's just what I found personally. Not the end of the world, this is still absolutely awesome. The other thing that they've got now is that if you tap the volume down button twice, then that's going to activate the camera and also take a shot straight away. So this is similar to what you've got on the Samsung Galaxy S6, where if you tap the home button twice, it's going to activate the camera and then you can take a shot. But the thing with this is it's a little bit awkward to tap that twice. I mean, it's alright to do, but tap that twice, and I mean, who takes a picture like this? I don't know. If it's a selfie, then maybe, but taking a picture straight away by tapping the volume down button twice, I think is not a great implementation. What I would do is in the settings, you can actually switch off taking a picture, so the double tap will just activate the camera. Then you can frame your shot, and then you can take it. I mean, I don't know anybody who just taps twice and blindly takes a shot as soon as the camera is activated. I don't know, maybe it might be useful if you want to secretly take a picture quickly or something like that. But generally speaking, you'll want to frame your shot, so it's nice to have that activation. So just doing that twice and the camera will be active, and then you can just go ahead and frame your shot and take it. So that's just something else to bear in mind. Now let's talk a little bit about the front facing camera for those selfies. I know a lot of people like taking selfies. Now this has, I'd say, probably the best selfie camera out there. I really like it because it's got some great detail. One thing to mention, and this is a tip, as soon as you get the LG G4, switch off that beauty mode. It's going to be set by default at about 50%. Put that down all the way to 0. I don't know why they put it on as default. I just think it's silly because it just softens your face up too much and makes you look like a cartoon. Just put that off and use it as it is, and it's absolutely awesome. You've got some great detail and you've got some nice colors, and it's also 8 megapixels, so it's much larger than lots of the other competition. I mean, the iPhone and the iPhone 6 Plus only have 1.2 megapixel front facing cameras, so especially when you blow them up, I mean, if you want to crop in to a particular area of your selfie, then this is going to be absolutely awesome. It's not too wide, so you don't get that much distortion towards the sides. You do get some distortion towards the sides, but not as much as other devices. So the front facing camera is definitely a winner. Even low light images on the front facing camera have come out pretty well, so 2 thumbs up for both the front and rear facing cameras for the G4. Now to answer the question, can it replace your DSLR? Well, that's an interesting question, and the simple answer to that is no. A DSLR is on another level really, and smartphone cameras haven't really come to the point where they can replace DSLRs. I mean, DSLRs, you've got interchangeable lenses, you've got much larger sensors, there's so many more things that DSLRs have. Having said that, I do have to mention that these days I think twice about taking out my DSLR when I'm going out somewhere. It's just a bit of a hassle with all of that bulk, carrying around backpack, when something like this I can have in my pocket and also get some great results, especially with the manual mode on the G4. So that's definitely something that's changed the way I use my DSLR. Can it replace your compact camera? Well, I think it can replace your compact camera. Compact cameras have already seen a big decline since smartphone cameras have been getting better, but with things like the G4, compact cameras are pretty much obsolete now. I mean, I would definitely say that this can replace your compact camera. You don't necessarily have to carry on an additional camera, you can just use this, which is absolutely awesome. So there we have it, my review of the LG G4 cameras. I think these are some of the best cameras of 2015. And if you're somebody who likes taking a lot of pictures, then I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the LG G4. Now, if you're interested in the other elements of the LG G4, then I am going to be covering that in the full review, which should be coming up shortly. So make sure you have subscribed to the channel if you want to see that first. If you want to see my previous related video, that will also be linked there somewhere. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV. I'll see you next time.